Hello and welcome back to 10 out of 10 Would Watch Again with Lauren and Ross.
Hello.
Last week we brought you some wholesome romance in the form of Notting Hill, and we thought, why not just keep up the wholesome romantic vibes? So this week you are getting 1987's Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
Right, Ross, hit me with your push.
So it was released in September 1987, directed by Adrian Lyne, starring Michael Douglas, Glenn Close and Anne Archer. A budget of $14 million and a box office of $320 million.
Class, because the movie's class. So, general overview of the movie. Dan decides to have a no-strings-attached affair for one weekend with big saucy Alex, only to discover that no strings doesn't exist.
Nah, the guy fucks it about.
100%. So, why do you love this film?
I mean, this is the same as Notting Hill, that it should be put on to you, because this is one of your favourite movies.
No, hands down. Now, I love a From Hell movie, right?
Yeah.
Like this single white female Gone Girl Fear with Marky Mark, like, and this is the ultimate From Hell movie. Like, do you know, you watch it and it's like, you're like, they're all arseholes apart from Anne Archer, do you know what I mean? Like, Michael Douglas, prick, Glenn Close, psycho, but you're so here for it and it's so over the top. It's like, and I don't know if this is everybody, but like for me and like a few select pals, this is a very quotable film, do you know what I mean?
Oh, aye.
And like, I genuinely, and I stand by it, like, I think Alex is one of the best movie villains, like, ever, hands down.
I'm with you, but is she a villain?
Well, I think she's the ultimate woman scorned. And I think if you're Michael Douglas, she's a villain. I think if you're... This is the thing, though, as well, right? This movie can be taken in loads of different ways, right?
Aye.
See, if you want to just straight up watch it as a, she's a fucking nutter and ruining his life, you can watch it like that.
Yeah.
You can watch it as her being this, like, women suffering from all these mental illnesses and just having a spiral. You can take it as that. But, like...
I don't think
Spiral might
Spiral is underplaying it a wee bit.
But like, I feel like you can watch this movie as Michael Douglas being the villain. You can watch it as her being the villain. Again, as they're all dicks, do you know what I mean? But she is terrifying from about halfway through this film. Not even halfway through. Like, basically the second their dirty weekend ends, you're pure like...
Oh, aye, definitely.
Right, so we'll dive into thoughts and opinions. I want like 5 minutes before we get into the film to just talk about like Michael Douglas, Adrian Lyne, and just like 80s and 90s erotic thrillers, right? Like,
so basically every Michael Douglas movie.
Yeah, basically. He's like the king of erotic thrillers, is big Michael Douglas. Like, they don't really get made anymore / made in the way they were. Like, I think right off the top of my head, the only modern day erotic thrillers that I can think of is like the Baby Girl that just came out, which is like people are loving it or hating it. I think it was alright. Maybe Saltburn, and I'm talking like in the last like 5 years, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Obviously those are the two that have just came out. I know they tried to do one with Ben Affleck and that Anna de Armas. I never watched it, apparently it was shite. But like, obviously Michael Douglas, he always plays like a flawed everyman, do you know what I mean? And I say everyman in italics because he's always like some sort of lawyer or corporate guy or banker, like middle class as fuck, do you know what I mean?
He's always like some like high powered job.
100%.
Like, he can't just be a construction worker.
No.
I mean, it wouldn't work with him being a construction worker.
Nah. And like, he always gets roped into some kind of sordid affair. Like this movie, Basic Instinct, Disclosure, like, do you know what I mean? Also, like Adrian Lyne, he did like Lolita, which is obviously, that's kind of controversial in its own right.
Yeah.
Obviously this movie, Indecent Proposal, 9.5 Weeks. I mean, he did Flashdance, Unfaithful, like all that kind of stuff. So like, all of his, I mean, he did that Jacob's Ladder, but I've never seen it, so I cannot comment. But all of his have been like the kind of ropey, erotic thriller kind of things.
Wait, hold on a minute.
Uh-huh.
So he's done all these erotic thrillers.
Yeah.
and Jacob's fucking Ladder.
Yeah. Why, what's Jacob's Ladder? I've heard of it. I've
Yeah,
never
it's
seen
not
it.
an erotic thriller,
Oh,
can
is
I
it
assure
not?
you?
Right, okay.
That's
Is
the
it?
mad weird is it Tim Robbins? The dude for Shawshank Redemption?
Oh, right, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
That's a weird, like, psychological horror, like, body horror film.
Is it good?
I mean, it's body horror. You either like it or you don't.
Would I like it?
And we'll get a swatch.
Right, okay. Add
But
that to the list then.
but I've never. That's a change.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I quite the switch up, isn't it?
Like, what a shout. Fair dues to him.
Obviously, Michael Douglas now, he's like Avengers, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that kind of thing. And
Aye.
obviously, he has done more than erotic thrillers. It just so happens that the ones he's done are like the ones to watch kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Like, obviously, Disclosure. That's the one where he gets roped into a. Is it him and Demi Moore? She says that he's like tried it and
Yeah,
she's like his ex or something.
I think she tries it on with him in her office, but
Mhm.
he rejects her, which is the only time in movie history he's ever rejected anybody.
Yeah. Probably the only time Demi Moore's ever been
Yeah.
rejected either.
And it turns into like a court drama.
Yeah, she
like, type
accuses
situation.
him of
Aye.
being a dirty.
But then it gets weird because it like a lot of weird shit is like she's been fucking up all this stuff.
Yeah, and they're trying to get him to take a fall and all this kind of shit.
It turns out a weird like company courtroom fucking weird shit.
Yeah. And obviously you've got Basic Instinct with Sharon Stone, where he's the police and she's a witness / suspect, and then he starts pumping her, and then there's like a really weird rave scene where Michael Douglas is like pure sweating. Like, if I saw Michael Douglas in the club, I'd be like, absolutely not.
Nah, it's just I don't know why. Because I mean, he's in his 40s, 50s when these are getting made.
He's always like kind of middle aged. Yeah.
So just middle aged dude. And fair enough, he's a good looking guy. But it's like you're kind of like.
It's that yuppie good looking butt, you know what I mean? With like the pure coiffed hair, and like Michael Douglas in all of these films, like he's never got a shite gaff. He's always dressed, like, do you know what I mean? And in Fatal Attraction, he's supposed to have, not Fatal Attraction, this is Fatal Attraction. And Basic Instinct, he's supposed to have like a bad temper or something. That's why he's in like therapy or something. It's like, calm yourself, do you know what I mean? So obviously that's just kind of been like a brief summary of just Michael Douglas and the director. But I wanted to kind of ask before we get into the plot of Thoughts and Opinions, is like, why do you think they don't make erotic thrillers like this anymore? Like, do you think it's... I don't know. I'm asking you.
I mean, how do you do it without making like the woman like, oh, she's nuts?
Yeah.
Like, you can't do it now without somebody has to look bad in it, and all these movies, it tends to be the woman.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, definitely. Like, there's slight misogynistic elements. No, there's full misogynistic elements. You know what I mean? Like, he's got, in this film, we'll try and keep it to this film, right? He's got the beautiful wife who seems to just be like a kind of stay-at-home wife. She's like beautiful. Like, I mean, I think Anne Archer's stunning, but she's very like,
woman.
do you know what I mean? She's very like homey beautiful in this movie, like where she's just got like her mum jeans and her shirt, and she's always in the kitchen. It's very that. And then obviously when he meets Alex, she's this like kind of high-powered, sexy bitch. I know you don't think so, but like, and she kind of exudes that like. So, and it's very like two obviously polar opposites, but then because now again, Alex is nuts, right? But like, because she's not taking no for an answer, like there's bits later on in this film where I'm like, no, I get you. Do you know what I mean? Like when, so spoiler alert for like later on in the Thoughts and Opinions, when she tells Michael Douglas she's pregnant, like, and he's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? And she's like, this is like, I want to keep it. This is your responsibility. And he's pure like, this fucking bitch is ruining my life. And I'm like, you ruined your fucking life, my man.
Sure,
do you know
this
what
is
I mean?
all your choice.
100%.
I mean, that, and also, it's like, it's too easy now. It's like, I mean, what would they do? Go on Tinder? The idea of like people meeting up in a random bar now and
right.
this happening just wouldn't work.
Yeah, like there's no, like, you don't really get like meet cutes anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Like you have websites dedicated to cheating.
Yeah, Ashley Madsen and all that. Is that even still a thing?
Yeah.
Remember
sure
when that
is.
scandal dropped? Yeah, like there's ways to cheat now that are subtle, I want to say. Like, I don't know if subtle's the right word, but like, yeah, like you say, there's places you can go to do it.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't need to be able to like have time free, make
mhm.
sure for people to go away now. You can just fucking app on the phone, find somebody and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, between that and I think that it's played out. Like there's no
What,
real
cheating?
I mean
Or erotic
like
thrillers?
erotic thrillers, like what could they do different? Like it's all been done to death.
Yeah, and it's been done well, like all the ones that are to watch are because of the way they, like, do you know
Yeah,
what I
you
mean?
can't do anything different in them unless, as I said, you could add the online thing, but then it's just going to be the same.
That's the thing though, like obviously, like you're obviously talking about like online looking to cheat, like that kind of thing. But like, do you think that Michael Douglas set out to cheat, or is it just the fact that he bumped into her, she was stunning, and offered it to him in a plate? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you think Michael Douglas would have cheated? Again, if he doesn't cheat, there's not a movie. But do you think he would have cheated? Like anyway, like do you think that thought's already like in his head of like, oh, if I ever get the opportunity, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Because yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if this isn't the first time he's done it.
yeah.
That's I'll say my either now, right?
Aye.
Because it makes sense with this. So it doesn't really give you a reason why he wants to cheat, why
Yeah.
he does cheat. Like the build up's very quick that he does this.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like the whole start of the movie is him like happy at home, like he's got a beautiful wife, he's got beautiful kids, he's got a great job, like he's got his dog, like everything's
Yeah,
great. Do you know what I mean? Like cat and gaff and all this. And then obviously when he meets her at the party, she, for all Glenn Close is not like a conventionally attractive
yeah,
woman. Like there's something about her. Do you know what I mean? Like she's wearing that dress, she's got the wild
uh
hair,
huh,
and like they obviously met at the party, and then when they're in the office, she cancels a date and they go to dinner. And that dinner, like, I'm sorry, even if you weren't going to cheat, right? He takes her to a really nice fucking restaurant. He plies the both of them with wine. It's all super flirty. The chat's flowing. And
yeah,
then that's when she says, Where's your wife? Oh, she's out of town. Why are you on your own this Saturday night? Oh, I cancelled my date. Okay, we're two consenting adults, no strings attached. And you see his fucking, he gets a moment of like, oh shit, and then it's like, fuck it.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just a bit sudden for me for him.
Yeah,
Like, because as you say, oh, he's meant to have like a happy life, perfect life, wife, kid, dog. That you don't just go for that to right. I'm going to have a dirty weekend.
yeah. I suppose like it's, I think it's the idea, isn't it? Like the fantasy of the movie is a no strings attached, filthy weekend, and then you can go back to your normal life as if it never happened. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, and then obviously the reality is that he had a no strings attached with the wrong lassie. Do you know what I mean?
but like who's that fantasy for? Because it's not as if all guys are like.
No,
But
totally.
because I get what you mean. Like it kind of does it both ways. So it's like, oh, he can do what he wants and
Yep,
get away with it. When she is playing like, no, this is the fucking consequences of you doing this.
absolutely.
But who who does it appeal to?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe it was different in the fucking 80s. I don't know, but
Everybody was shagging in the
aye,
80s.
but like I don't know anybody that this movie like the idea of that like appeals to them. Do you get what I mean?
Totally get what you mean. Totally get what you mean. Again, though, I think you need to be in that kind of mindset. Do you know what I mean? And this is all great brownie points for us. Like, I'm really glad that this is not appealing to you. Do you know what I mean?
I just don't understand the logic behind them just suddenly switching.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to me how I like they meet like twice, speak for 5 minutes, and that's it. Like they seal the deal, and I was like,
I
that doesn't
and
that
it's
just
like
doesn't happen.
short meetings as well. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
aye,
they speak for 5 minutes at a party after she gives his pal a dirty look. They are in a meeting together and they have like 2 words. And
yeah,
then it's as soon as they go to the restaurant, and it's obviously implied that they've been at this restaurant for a while. Do you know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
wine's flowing, the flirty banter's en route, and all this. But like you can tell that he's playing. See, before they even have the discussion of right, no strings attached. let's do this. Before they even do that, he's playing with fire, because the fact that he's taking her to a restaurant like that, the wine's flowing, it's a Saturday night and his wife and kids aren't home, they're flirting with each other, he's like complimenting her, the sex eyes are out.
Yeah.
Like, before you've even done anything, that's playing with fire. Do you know what I mean? That's encouraging it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and obviously, like, she could have turned around at any time and been like, "You're married, fuck off." Do you know what I mean? Obviously, she doesn't, and hence why we get the
She's got
film.
nothing to lose, though. So.
Exactly. Like, he's got everything
Yeah.
to lose, whereas she's pretty like, la la la.
I mean, and see, you going about the restaurant. If I feel like that's a place he'll take anybody, though. I don't feel like
like business partners and stuff.
Like, I think that's just more of a, like, it's a nice restaurant to us, but to him, that's just your usual. That's where they'll go after food, like after work and that. Sorry.
Aye, that's fair. Like,
aye, because he says it himself, and it's like, "Oh, I'm well known here and all that." But maybe that was just them taking the piss. But I feel like that's like, for normal people, that's also a good place. But for Michael Douglas in these movies, like, this is just where he goes.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it doesn't change anything about him being a wee dirty, but...
No, I know what you mean, So, obviously, at this meal, they decide to have their no strings dirty weekend, right? And, like, it cuts to quite possibly the weirdest sex scene ever. Like, the sex scenes in this movie aren't sexy. I don't know if they were sexy in 1987, but, like, watching them, it's like, alright. Like, they have sex in her sink with it's full of dirty dishes, and she's like pouring the tap water all over herself and him and all this guy. I'm like, what?
When she does it, starts soaking him in the face. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, at what point are you like, calm down?
Just, what are you doing? Fuck off.
And like, it's a whole ordeal. Do you know what I mean? But also, I wanted to point out, I mean, you've obviously clocked, but like, notice that, like, straight after they have sex and she says, "Oh my God, that was great," he's like, "Thank God," right? And now, I always kind of wondered, like, every time I watch this movie, you can kind of think something different. Like, does he say thank God because it's good? Like, if the sex wasn't good, the affair wouldn't be worth it. And at this point, it's not an affair; it's just a one night stand. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's like, or it's either that he's saying thank God because he's glad the sex was good, because then it's worth it in his eyes, or is he saying thank God because maybe he's not really been told by his wife for a while that it's good, so he's like, "Oh, thank God, I've still got it." Do you know what I mean?
No, I get you.
Like, is it an insecurity thing, or is it a, right, cool, this is all worth it thing? Do you know what I mean?
It could be. Imagine it would be both.
Yeah.
It's a bit of like gratification for him. Is it? That was good. That was worth doing. Like, potentially fucking everything I've done here.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I never even thought of that.
I don't really look at me being intelligent. Like, I think as well, like, when I was saying about, like, he's maybe not heard it from his wife for a while, like, I can imagine, like, I mean, think about it, right? He's like, he works a really high powered job. They've got their Wayne and their Doug, and they've got, like, a really, like, big social life. Like, anytime the two of them are together, they're always getting ready to go somewhere.
Oh, they're always out and about. Aye. He's a man about town.
100%. So, like, I can imagine, like, their like, him and his wife's sex life is, like, very rushed, if you know what I mean, because it's like, aye, oh, we need to, like, here's a 20-minute quickie, and then we need to take her to school, or 20-minute quickie, and then we need to go somewhere else. So, like, it's probably like a gratification thing, you know?
Aye. I just make him feel proud of himself.
Yeah. Well done, Michael Douglas. You're a prick, do you know what I mean?
I mean, if it was shite, do you think Glenn Close goes as mental as she does?
Here. That should have been, no, I was going to say an A. Like, that's not an A. But yeah, like, if it was just, like, mediocre, she's just like, right, cool, go. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like, you're not worth it.
Aye. I mean, he gets his money worth out of this weekend, because they have sex, like, twice there. They go to a samba class, then they have sex in a lift, then the next day they go on a walk. Like, she comes out with his Doug. Now that, I want 5 minutes, because that is a fucking stab in the gut.
Oh,
like,
aye. Oh, that's a kick in the teeth.
An affair can be forgivable, whether that's your stance or not, right? If, like, an affair's a deal breaker, why in if it's not cool, right? But you can forgive an affair depending on where you stand. But introducing someone else to your pets, fuck you, man. That is like an unforgivable affair. Like, if you had an affair I would get past it. If there was another woman clapping their cats, no.
Fuck that. I mean, he forgets about that dog rapid anyway.
100%. He's been like out with her all night, like all day and all night. That dog's been in the house, not been out, not been fed.
No, what the fuck?
And then, like, because he says that as soon as he goes home, he's like, she's like, oh, I want to see you. And he's like, no, the dog's not been out all day. Like, I need to do something. And then that's when she pops up. And by the way, sidebar, quite possibly her best outfit in the whole movie is this like oversized blazer and like the cool trousers and honestly, like that whole outfit, I'm like, I think that outfit is my Roman Empire. Like, I'm like, yes, like I don't want to be Glenn Close, but I want that outfit, you know?
No, fair enough.
So then obviously, like, they have their weekend, and when they're at the dog park, he makes a joke and like falls down as if he's had a heart attack, right? And she's like, oh my fucking God, you bastard, my dad died of a heart attack. You're serious? And he's like, oh fuck, right, sorry. And then she starts laughing and she's like, shut up, my dad's pretty alive and well. And then like, no, I'll save it. So like, I'll save that bit. So then I feel like that's your first twig, you know, of that, like, right, okay, she, like, that was a very instant, unbelievable lie. But then I get it, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't know this woman very well, and you might think that this is her form of banter. I know for me personally, I'd be like, okay.
I mean, she just can't let him have one over her.
No.
Like, she just flat out refused to let him, like, have eating against her.
Totally. And, like, just a reminder that while this is going on, his beautiful, beautiful wife, played by Anne Archer, I cannot remember the character's name, but Anne Archer, and their gorgeous wee Wayne, they're away up checking out the house of dreams, like gorgeous standard suburban house, huge garden, all this, and he is parading around with his bird and then feeding the dog the leftover meatballs and all that so that he doesn't get caught, and he like runs home and like mills about the bed so it looks like he's not made the bed. It's like that's why I'm with you on this can't be his first affair. Do you know what I mean? Because like, I don't know, like if it was me having the affair, I wouldn't think to like come home and mess up the bed. Like I just wouldn't, like, do you know what I mean?
He just goes into it like too head on too quickly.
Yes.
Like that doesn't, if this was your first time, it would need to be like somebody super special.
100%. Like this has got to be worth it if my life falls apart. Do you know what I mean?
He obviously has no regrets, no nothing about just head on. So this can't be the first time.
No regrets. This is like another twigging of a red flag for me, right? Because they are back at hers, they're having dinner while listening to Madame Butterfly, right?
Yeah.
If I walked into anybody's gaff and they were playing opera for fun, I'd be like, right, I'm getting stabbed in the face tonight. Do you know what I mean? Like, absolutely not. And like, while she's making dinner, he's talking about how great his wife is, how beautiful his kid is. And she straight up asks him, she's like, what are you here then? What are you doing here? And he doesn't have an answer. He just kind of stands there and he's like, well, and it's like, I back her for that, because like obviously she walked into this knowing that he's a married man, but straight up asking him, being like, why are you here? And he can't tell you, do you know what I mean? Like, what a shitbag. Like, she obviously then says, can I see you again? And he's like, that's not possible. So like, he's sticking to the, I thought this was a no strings attached, one dirty weekend thing, and she's already kind of trying to push it a bit.
Yeah, that always annoys me in movies and that though, is it, right, we're just going to do this, this isn't a term you can just set.
Yeah.
Like, you could put these, like, right, these are the rules, but what happens, like, in this movie, what happens if she just turns around and says, no?
Yeah.
Like, I want more. And, like, he's hampered, there's nothing he can do about that.
100%. This is when, after, like, the first couple of twiggings that there might not be something quite right, he says he needs to leave, and she starts like ripping at his shirt and slapping him about. And when he is leaving, she's standing in the kitchen like, come say goodbye, let's be friends. This like monotone thing, and we see that she's cut her own wrists because he's leaving, right? What the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck?
I mean...
like, where are you going from there?
Yeah, first of all, why the fuck wasn't an ambulance called?
100%. He literally just rips up sheets and he like washes her wrists. and like ties sheets around them and lets her go to sleep.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Do you know what I mean?
This whole movie could have been avoided if he just like ambulances it. Wait, you need a wee section, honey.
You need a wee padded cell holiday, 100%.
Like, even though they say, who are you? Say, oh, I'm a boyfriend. I mean, his wife doesn't need to know. His wife doesn't run in the same circles.
Drop a fake name or something, do you know what I mean? Like,
and be like, get her sectioned. Like, she's fucking
pronto,
clearly mental.
100%. And this is just the start, do you know what I mean? So he, like, stays with her another night. My A also has to do with this, right? And, like, so he stays with her another night, makes sure she's all right. She wakes up and is like, oh my God, like, thank you. And he's like, right, cool, I'm away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
he does need to go now.
Yeah, right? Like, he's got a shift, he's got his work, right?
Aye.
So he, like, goes to work pure early. Like, he's a lawyer for, like, a book company, like a literary thing or something. Because they're always talking about authors.
I think he's either that or the case just happens to be, but I imagine it is like a copyright, like, lawyer type thing. I'm not 100%, but
No.
I imagine it would be.
Wiring. And, like, he's obviously had all this work to do over the weekend that he's not done because he's been pumping Glenn Close.
Aye.
So he's, like, in work, like, pure stressing. And then he goes home and is, once again, the doting family man, the prick.
Yeah.
He's, like, kissing his wife, hugging his kids, playing card games, like, letting his Wayne show him the card tricks and all that.
Yeah.
And, like, pure acting as if nothing's went wrong and that dog's just ate all the meatballs. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that dog's going to be howling, man.
Mate.
Poor dog.
Mate. So then Alex shows up to his office, also sidebar, in the absolute coat of dreams. Honestly, I would take fucking Glenn Close's whole wardrobe in this film.
Oh, aye.
Shows up in the coat of dreams to apologise for what happened. She's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And he's like, nothing happened. Don't worry about it. She's like, can I meet up with you again? He's like, no. She does not fucking take it well, right?
That's a fucking understatement.
Miguel, the next scene is honestly, and I fucking stand by it, one of the scariest fucking scenes in movie history, where she's got Madame Butterfly on in the background. She's in his shirt.
Yeah.
Turning the light switch on and off. The scariest face, like, it's just blank, like, ugh. That whole, honestly, I would put that one bit in, like, see your top 10 iconic horror movie shots, fucking stick this in it. That bit is so fucking creepy.
Yeah. No, it's class. It's really class.
100%.
You don't see many movies where you see them having a breakdown in these type of and erotic thrillers.
Totally.
Which is, like, kudos to them, fair dues.
Totally. And what I like about this is, like, this is, like, sexy misery, if you know what I mean. Like, like, if Kathy Bates was hot, that's what Fatal Attraction is, do you know what I mean? Like,
Jesus Christ.
Tell me I'm wrong, but do you know what I mean? If you mixed Fatal Attraction and Misery together, I think you've got my perfect film.
Aye.
Like, that sounds like take all my money, I'm there every weekend, do you know what I mean?
That's pretty messed up, like, fuck that.
Think how good that would be, but do you know what I mean? Like, that would be the one where you're pure leaving the cinema and you're like, oh my fucking God. Because Misery's traumatizing as it is.
Oh, fuck, aye.
We should do Misery one time. So anyway, sorry, back to the film. After she's constantly calling his office, calling his house, when the wife picks up, she hangs up. And, like, it's that part of, like, every time the phone rings, you just see him, like, tense up a bit. And it's like, oh, you dick. He, like, finally answers the phone. She demands to meet him. And she immediately hits out with, but I love you. After, like, how good is Michael Douglas in The Sack if she's in love with him after a weekend, do you know what I mean? But, that's not the point, but you know what I mean? She then tells him that she's pregnant, right? To which, this should be an A, but I'm bringing this up now.
Aye, go for it.
He instantly says to her, why don't you use anything? Why didn't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, condoms are a thing, do you know what I mean?
I mean, he kind of plays it off as, oh, well, she's doing this with me. She's doing this with other guys. Like, that's the kind of vibe I get off him.
Because he's like, are you sure it's mine? And she's affronted. She's like, I do not sleep around. Like,
but, I mean, what he's doing just exactly what she's doing, other than, but she has no, well, I say she has no baggage. She's a fucking psycho, but she's got no, like, no husband, no wife, no nothing. But he thinks he's better than her because he's got that, which 100%. Is pretty bizarre.
Which
to
is
me.
also more of a reason why he should have used protection, because if you think she sleeps around, you don't know if she's got any infections. You don't know what's going on there, and you're going to bring that back into your house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's kind of just that. Oh, well, she's a woman, so she's a slag. Like, kind
Yeah.
of just portray it back to, right, women are, like, use a harsh word, they're sluts. And is it, no, mate, you've done the exact same thing here.
Yeah, you're the slag, Michael Douglas. Do you know what I mean?
Like, none of, both of yous are, I mean, I wouldn't say both of them, because she knew fine well, but she'd be the one that's blamed as a homewrecker here.
100%.
When it's all him.
100%.
Like, she was like, right, this is what's going to happen, and he's happy enough to jump in.
Absolutely.
So, he did. Do you know what? He kind of deserves everything in this movie. Fuck him.
I love when feminist Ross comes out.
No,
Like,
it's bullshit, because he does it straight off the bat, and he's like, oh, well, if you did this with me, and he's like, fuck off.
yeah, fuck
Like,
you, man.
You can't just do that to, like, all the women, because I'm convinced this happened before.
100%, 100%.
And, like, he's probably just fobbed all them off, I know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He asks her, like, why don't you use anything? He asks her, is she sure it's his? And then he says to her, okay, well, I'll support you. Like, I'll pay for it. And she's like, I don't want an abortion. And he's fucking horrified. And it's like, again, like, we get taught this in school, guys, when we do sex education. Like, if you have unprotected sex, you're either coming away with an illness or infection of some sort, or you're getting fucking pregnant. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Like, and really, both boys and girls are taught this, you know? So it's down to you, my guy. Then she turns round and says the ominous, you play fair with me and I'll play fair with you. And it's like, ugh. Like, do you know what I mean? But at this point, Michael Douglas is like, fuck. But it's taken to this point for him to realise, maybe this affair isn't working. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like this is an outcome he hoped for, or this is an outcome that has never happened to him before.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like you said, like, he's probably done this before. He's probably palmed them all off before. Whereas this one's like, I'm fucking sticking about and I expect you to big up to your responsibilities. Like, I'm pregnant. You're going to be a part of this kid's life.
The only problem with this, though, is what does she actually want?
Him? She wants him.
Aye, but does she? Because say he was like, right, go fuck my wife off and that, and is it like, what does she get? Because she's just going to worry every time.
No, but she's not that type of woman. Do you know what I mean? She says it at the end of the film, like, to Anne Archer. She's like, this was first attraction. This was love at first sight. You're a stupid bitch. You're stealing him from me. Like, she's fully convinced herself that, like, he is the one for her.
Oh, no, I
like,
get that.
And that if he comes to her, he would never leave her for another. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I mean,
she's not the type of lassie to be like, oh my God, my man's going to cheat on me. This is like season 2 of You. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, I know, but see, the second he talks to another woman in general,
she's stabbing that other woman in the face.
So, like, that's not worth it.
No, 100%.
Like, it's generally just not worth the hassle.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, I like that we have a nice chilled life, Ross, because this whole thing just sounds like a disaster. Do you know what I mean?
Like, anytime he does this, he's in his office talking to him, she knows she's going to spiral. Anytime he's got a work thing, because he seems to have a lot of work functions at bars, which I imagine in the 80s, 90s and that was the thing you do.
I wish my work would take me out in more bars. Meetings in fancy restaurants and all that. I didn't bother.
So what? Like, she's just going to constantly be in fucking fear.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to cheat, but she's going to just take out on him and the fucking poor woman that's just doing her job.
100%. That's the thing is, like, I don't think it's fear that he'll cheat. I think it's if she finds out he does, that woman is for it. Like,
oh, aye. Oh, fuck, aye.
Fuck that. So anyway, he then breaks into her house to, like, confirm that she is pregnant because he doesn't believe her. And this is also an A later on. He, like, starts, like, wrecking about her stuff and finds this folder to try and find out, like, who the doctor is and all this.
Aye.
He finds all these bits of papers with, like, mad scribbles all on them and stuff. Then he finds an obituary of her dad to say that her dad is actually dead. He died in 1957. And it's like, that's when he's like, oh my God, she lied to me. And it's like, my guy, we're this deep and you're still hoping that she's no mental. Do you know what I mean?
He's done nothing but lie. Like, that's all he's done in this fucking full movie.
100%. So then he speaks to his wee lawyer pal, tells him all the drama, and is like, what kind of case is she going to have against me? Like, I'm really scared of losing my family. You should have fucking thought about that before you had your slime ball weekend with
Yeah.
quite possibly the craziest woman in film history. Do you know
Oh,
what I
aye,
mean?
fuck aye.
But like that always seems to be the reaction from like, and I'm not just saying cheating men. I'm only just saying that because Michael Douglas is the one that cheated. But it's all either way, cheating either way. It's like, oh, but I don't want to like fuck up my situation. It's like, well, you're gonna fuck up your situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is not a guaranteed. Your partner finds out you've cheated, and they're going to be like, don't worry about it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, when has that ever happened?
He's trying to take like no responsibility for this at all.
Totally, he's putting it all on her. He's like,
it's
well,
all
she's
her fault
yep.
for wanting to keep the kid and all that. He doesn't know fuck all about this woman.
No.
Yeah, he just assumes, no, she'll do what I want. Is it? No, this time.
No. Alex then shows up to his apartment because obviously Michael Douglas and his wife are trying to move out to the country. So she shows up to view the apartment before they move, tells the wife that she's expecting and is looking for a new house to raise her kid. The wife, so nice, big up Anne Archer. She's pure like, oh my God, amazing, blah, blah, blah. Michael Douglas is in fear. Like, the look on his face, he is white. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
100%. Alex is immediately like, oh my God, I pure know you. We've met before. And Dan's like, I don't think so. And she's like, oh no, we definitely have. We've met at this party. And she's like, oh my God, I do know you. Like, the wife was at the party.
Yeah.
And Michael Douglas is pure trying to like play it off and be like, oh yeah, we must have met like one time, it's pure fine, I need to go do some work. And then Alex is like, okay, well, thank you for meeting me. And then the wife, poor Anne Archer, goes, here's my new phone number, phone us with any questions. And you could just see Michael Douglas like, what the fuck have you done?
Yeah, this is the first proper foray for Alex to invade his life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's normally been like at the side, like the shadows, but you get what I mean.
No,
like,
no, totally. Like the not silent harassment because she's permo phoning him and showing up to places.
Nothing silent about
but
it.
But like, she's not. She's only really invaded his time. She's not invaded the family time.
Yeah.
And this is the thing: is she holds the threat of "I'm gonna tell your wife" over his head, and he's like, the fuck you will, because you hang up the phone whenever my wife answers. And then he goes home and she's in the fucking gaff talking to his wife. You would shit yourself, do you know what I mean?
But
like,
this, to me, should be the point where he's got to think, right, she could hurt my family.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work for Alex to tell Anne Archer everything, because then, like, he loses it all, but he's still not going to be with her.
100%.
So after that, the threat's got to be like, right, fuck, he can come after my wife and kid here.
She can come after my wife.
Aye, she could come after my wife and kid, sorry. So at what point are you like, right, this isn't just going to ruin my marriage, and I said that she could go fucking nuts and hurt one of them.
100%, 100%. So he then goes to her place and they end up screaming and bawling at each other. He's telling her to stop, and she hits out with the chilling, I will not be ignored, Daniel. Yeah. And I think I say that to you on a weekly basis. And she hits out with the, I won't let you treat me like some slut you can bang a couple of times and throw in the trash, which you're like, absolutely fucking fair play, Glenn Close. Like, you are bang on straight up. Again, you both did agree to no strings, but no, fair play, stand on business, you know?
Yeah.
And I'd back it if she wasn't an absolute mental case, do you know what I mean? But then he lays hands when she threatens to tell his wife, which is obviously bang out of order, but that then gives her, like, that kind of then flips her even more.
Oh yeah,
that level.
Changes it for like stalking that to be like, right, no, everything's fair game now.
100%.
Like, you want crazy, I'll give you fucking crazy.
100%. And she fucking does. She fucking delivers. So he, like, immediately weeks the family up to the new country house. Like, the wife's like, oh no, I want some, like, renovations done first. He's like, no, we're getting the fuck out of here. Like, we need
to go.
And his wee daughter, Ellen, has been begging for a rabbit. So he surprises her with a rabbit. Now, if you've seen this film, we all know where the rabbit is leading. So as soon as I see that rabbit, I'm like, oh, poor wee whitey, do you know what I mean?
I mean, even if you haven't...
Pause. Wait. wait till we get to that bit, right? Because I want to have a whole fucking conversation about that.
All right,
bit.
okay.
So then when he's leaving with the rabbit to head to his car, he then finds that his car is covered in fucking acid. She's throwing acid in his motor, and also shows you that Michael Douglas is a prick because he puts the rabbit in the cage on the floor where the acid is, and I'm like, my guy, like,
Where's he meant to put him?
I don't,
sorry.
not on the fucking acid covered floor. So he manages to get his replacement car, and as he goes into the replacement car, he's been given this like package, and it's a fucking tape of Alex recording of just like her ramblings of being like, I'm pregnant and you will be the father and you will come up to your responsibilities and I loved you, Dan. And then, but as the tape goes on, she's like, you don't want to be with me, you fucking, and that must, what the fuck?
Do you know she's having an argument in her own head.
100%.
Like, she's proper schizo.
100%. Like, the spiral is happening. Do you know what I mean?
That gives me the fear how she can just have a full argument, know what he's going to say. Like, that gives me the fear.
Yeah.
Nah, like, that is proper mental behaviour.
100%. He tries to report it to the police, but the police can't do anything without proof. The police guy says, if we go up to our gaff, it's only going to aggravate the situation, which unfortunately to this day kind of still seems to be the stance with like stalking. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many things do you see on the news of like, she was stalked until she was murdered? Do you know what I mean? Like, how many true crime episodes do you get about that? Do you know what I mean? So this is where we get the bit that I interrupted you for, Ross. I'm sorry, but now you're going to have your fucking time to shine, right? Where they've all came home, Michael Douglas, Anne Archer, and the wee Wayne, and the Wayne is running towards the rabbit coop as Anne Archer comes into the house and is like, what's that on the stove? Why is there a pot on the stove? Why is the stove on? And as wee Ellen's running to say hello to her rabbit, Anne Archer takes the lid off the pot and you find out that the fucking rabbit has been boiled! And then it's just Ellen screaming, being like, Whitey's not here! Fucking poor man out for Whitey, by the way.
We poor cow didn't deserve it.
Do you know what I mean? This just works every time. Do you know what I mean? And I understand, like, this is the thing of, like, if you've never seen Fatal Attraction, you know the bunny boiling scene.
Oh, yeah, of course, aye.
And it's also, like, wee Whitey's legacy. Whitey's the name of the rabbit, by the way. I'm not just being like, this white rabbit. Like, Whitey's legacy is that bunny boiler is now used as a term for nutters. I think now it's like a general term, but it used to be specifically for crazy ladies. Do you know what I mean? But
see, I thought it was just for, like a woman trying to steal another, like, woman's man.
No. Well, yeah, but that's also it. But bunny boiler means, like, nutter. Do you know what I mean? That's what I was always told.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I was also told when I was younger that white heels meant that you were a bunny boiler. So, I mean, I can't walk in heels, but I'm always, now when I'm out and about, I'm like, I see you in your white heels. What's going on there?
Why would they just decide, I'm a nut, I'm going to wear white heels?
I don't think it's a thing. I just remember it being something I was told. Like,
yeah.
I was told something suspect about red ankle boots, and I've never worn red ankle boots since. It's all those stupid things you hear in school. Do you know what I mean?
I'm with you.
You've got blue shoelaces, like, you're a whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I've got you.
But, like, the bunny boiling scene it hits every time. Do you know what I mean? Like, when there's iconic scenes, it loses its momentum after a while. Nah, I think this hits every time. So, obviously, this is the moment where Dan has to confess everything. He needs to come clean to his wife because not only, it's not just happening to him now, it's affecting his home and it's affecting his family. And she obviously throws him out the house, right? But she is a lot calmer than what I would be. Like, I'm not being funny. Like, never mind the fact that you've had an affair, right? You personally having an affair is bad enough, right? You having an affair, which then goes on to affect me, my Wayne, my house. No, do you know what I mean? You've boiled my cats. Like, no, do you know what I mean?
What I don't get though is this woman clearly can break out your house and kill animals in your house. Don't throw them out. Make them sleep on the couch.
100%. Like, yeah. Why do you want to be left on your own? Yeah. 100%.
Like that's never made sense to me in this movie. Like in this scenario, is it? No, this woman's fucking mental. Like, just leave it. Like, you need to stay and sort all this.
Yeah.
The one thing I do like, though, is obviously he comes clean about everything. So he's kind of took, like, the cards away from Glenn Close in this.
Yeah, because he phones her, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he basically just says that, look, you can't do, like, you hold nothing over me now. And the pregnancy thing just kind of goes away after that because she realises that nothing, I can't do anything to him here, so it has to be ramped up again.
Yeah, and then Anne Archer answers the phone to her and is like, if you come near my family, I'm going to fucking kill you, right? And you're like, oh, bitch. Like,
Yeah, I always laugh at that bit because Anne Archer's not doing that.
yeah, 100%. It's a threatening, intimidating thing to say, do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like,
try to intimidate Glenn Close in this film. Aye, no bother.
yeah, 100%. No, I'd bow out immediately. I'd be like, no problem, Glenn Close, you can have him. Like, but I think this is the first time, obviously, you see Anne Archer becoming the woman scorned. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the first time you see her in this movie having a bit of backbone. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, of course. I mean, he's just got a good way of pissing off all the women in this.
Yeah, prick. Like, Michael Douglas is back in he's got a wee shitey flat or a hotel or something that he's in, and Anne Archer and Ellen have stayed in the country. Now, Anne Archer goes to get Ellen from school, and when she shows up to the school, she's like, oh, how you doing? Where's Ellen? And everyone's like, what are you talking about? Like, she's not here.
Yeah, you picked her up already? Wild.
Mate, absolutely wild. Like, this is the thing right now, like, old lore on me. I used to work in nurseries and you needed 3 fucking passwords to pick up kids.
Yeah,
like, even if, like, even the parents had to give 3 passwords, even though you knew who they were. Watching this now, that, like, this random woman can just pop up and be like, oh, I'm her aunt, and they just let her go.
Different days, isn't it?
Crazy. Fucking crazy. So, while Anne Archer is, like, on the fucking hunt for Ellen, Glenn Close and Ellen are having a lovely day. They're at the fair. They're getting candy floss. They're getting ice cream.
Oh, they're having a buzz, huh?
They're on the roller coaster, which is another really fucking creepy scene. Because Ellen's sitting there, like, I don't, like, that Wayne's not laughing. That Wayne is terrified.
Oh, fuck, hi.
And, like, Glenn Close is just, like staring into the distance, this creepy smile, like, stop it. While she's on the hunt for Ellen, Anne Archer crashes her car and Glenn Close drops Ellen back off the house and is like, give me a kiss. And it's like, oh, get away from the win. So obviously while Anne Archer's in the hospital, Michael Douglas is running in, greeted by the most hostile look for Anne Archer's dad, which I'm like, that's better than me, because if I was Anne Archer's dad, I'd have went fucking mental, do you know what I mean? As he should.
The thing that annoys me about this bit is they blame Alex for her crashing her car. And it's twice it happens that she, like, is not paying attention. Now, I understand your kid's been kidnapped, right? Fair enough. That must be fucking horrific. But you can't blame her for you, like, rear-ending somebody. It's not as if, like, you were sideswiped or anything. Like, you've drove into someone else. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Because he does it. Aye, she hurt my wife, does it? No. Like, she didn't cause this.
Yeah. I mean, she did kind of cause it by stressing her out to the point where she's not focused on where she's looking. But I understand what you mean. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
It's just that blaming thing again. Like, everything that happened in this movie is Alex's fault, and it's not true.
Yeah. Dan then, like, rams into Alex's apartment after making sure Anne Archer's okay, goes fucking tonto. Now, violence against women is never okay, but I kind of get him in this one, you know? Like, I would also go nuts. Like,
yeah, I mean, hitting women's not... I mean, hitting anybody's not okay, but if somebody's kidnapped your kid, you're going to go fucking mental. It doesn't matter who it is.
100%. I'm half and half with this one, though, because I'm also like, oh no, the consequences of your actions, you know, like, you had an affair with the wrong woman. These are extreme consequences.
I mean, there's sleeping with this woman, like, having a dirty weekend, to her, like, stealing your Wayne.
100%.
Like, I don't think when he was doing this, fair enough, he kind of accepted that this could go all wrong, could lose his marriage in it, but I don't think he expected quite this.
No, 100%. She then grabs a knife and tries to go for him. He gets the knife off her, and then there's just, like, really intense staring until he leaves. Anne Archer then gets out of hospital and they go back to their gorgeous house, and she runs, like, the steamiest of steamy baths. Like, how hot is that bath? That's like 3rd-degree fucking
that
burns.
Is taking the skin off you.
100%. But it's also that classic horror movie scene of the mirror's steamed up, and then she wipes away the scene,
aye.
and fucking Glenn Close is standing behind her, and you're like, ah. But this is when Glenn Close has a knife in her hand and is like slashing her own thigh while being like, he's with me and he loves me and you're a stupid bitch and give me my man and it's like she's just fucking ranting, do you know what I mean?
She's gone. Like, she's proper off the train now.
100%. I mean, I think she was off the train from about halfway through, but at this point, there's no, like, do you know that way it stops being a good for her movie at this point, you know, and you're just like, fuck, everyone get out the house.
Yeah, from the bunny boiling scene, it's kind of like, right, nah, she's fully cracked. This isn't a woman scorned anymore. This is a woman that needs medication.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. So she starts, like, attacking Anne Archer. Michael Douglas runs in. He, like, throws her about a bit and then drowns her. Well, thinks he's drowned her in the tub. And then it's that other, like, if you've seen a fucking Jason Voorhees movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen a Michael Myers movie, you know what I'm talking about. He drowns her, sits down at the side of the tub and is like, whew, good thing that's over. 2 seconds later, Glenn Close is back up being like, "Wah!"
Yeah.
And then Anne Archer comes out with, like, the surprise gun, shoots her, slides down the wall, boof, right? Goodbye, right? They also then, this is all happening, this is all ramped up to like an 11, do you know what I mean? It's very, very melodramatic, which is, I'm never going to moan about. But then the police show up and they all seem to just get away with it. Like, the police haven't said to you at any point, this is another A, but fuck, I'm chucking it in now. The police have said to you this whole movie, we can't do anything, you don't have any proof, we can't do anything. And then they basically fucking murder Glenn Close in their bathroom, and the police are like, oh well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they get away with that rapid, and then the movie ends with, like, it zooming into, like, their family photo, and it's this, like, quote-unquote wholesome ending. I'm like, no, like...
Yeah, like that, there's still a lot to deal with. Like,
100%.
their marriage is not fine.
Absolutely
like,
not.
that family doesn't return back to normal.
And I'm also like, do you stay in that house? Like, you've murdered somebody in the bathroom. You've murdered, like, someone mental in the bathroom. Like, you couldn't go for a pee in the middle of the night and be like, oh, good times, you know? Like...
I mean, how do you sell it? Like, because it's got to be known there's a murder in it. Like, you could lose money on that.
Yeah.
One of those things, yeah, he's got a good job, but I don't think he's, like, rich.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll just sell this and buy another one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It does baffle me. Like, obviously, the whole movie has been, like, rising to this, like, 40 out of 10 moment. And then it just kind of ends and it seems like they've got away with it. Now, I'll speak about this in useless information because this wasn't the original ending. But I think the original ending would have been more interesting. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know if you know about the original ending, but...
I'm sure I'll find out.
Yeah, I'll tell you in like 10 minutes, do you know what I mean? But I think, like, knowing this ending, I think the original one would have been better, but obviously people weren't happy with it.
I mean, what do you think would happen to him? Like, he's not getting arrested. Like,
Yeah.
he's not getting to jail.
Yeah, but, like, also, like, it's just the whole way through the film, the police have been like, oh, we can't do anything about it because you've got no proof. And then it's like, oh, look, there's a dead body in my bathroom and it's her that's been stalking us. I know you've got Anne Archer as a witness, but I don't know.
Yeah, they have proof now. They have her running with a knife. Or is it scissors she's got?
Knife, no, it's
is
a
it
knife.
a knife? So her, like, stab marks, he's got slash marks. So I think they could...
Yeah, put two and two together. Yeah.
Been given him his reputation. He's not exactly just an arsehole, he's a lawyer. So they'd be like, no, this happened. She'd be like, alright, cool.
So, me and Ross have got a special category for this movie called Red Flag Tennis, where we're just kind of going to hit each other with the red flags throughout the movie. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not running out. My list is long, my boy. You start.
Right, Matt. Right, so the first red flag I would say is like the instant intensity.
Yes.
Like this, I want to say her because she's the red flags in this.
Yes.
But it's both of them. So it's like, for 0 to 100, she's obsessed. Aye. Now, as we said, he must have like a dick made of gold. For her to, like, he just turns her. If he turns her crazy, fair fucked, right?
Yeah.
But that's probably the first one. Like, it's the instant intensity, like the obsession and that straight off the rip for the weekend.
100%. I've got After their one night stand, she phones begging him to spend the day. He calls her out for not giving up, but then doesn't stand on business when she's like, no, but come on, let me do this. We could do this. Da, da, da. He's just like, I cool, no bother. Come out with me and my dog. Like, that's the red flag of her, obviously, like being super persistent and being like, what are we doing today? What can we meet up? Da, da, da. But he also doesn't stick with the boundary of this was a one night thing. He's like, all right then, like, on you come. Do you know what I mean?
No, fair enough. Right. So my next one's like manipulative behaviour. So she lies about her dad. Well, she lies. So she tells the truth, lies, then tells it like
he finds out the truth. Yeah.
I mean, because the guy is dead. We don't really know why. Yeah. Fair enough, right? That's not the point. But does that then? So obviously you have like the manipulative with that and the suicide attempt when he is finally like, I need to go.
Horrendous.
Yeah. So that's pretty fucking insane to me.
I mean, that's the classic one that they tell you, but now that like the cliche, but people use it of like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself if you ever leave me. Like that's the standard one that it's like, don't fall for this shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yourself.
Yeah, what are we, like One Love? I've got listening to Madame Butterfly while having a relaxing time. That's a fucking red flag. It's up there with me for know how your man from Sleeping with the Enemy who listens to the Shining. I mean, it's not the Shining theme. It's called something else. It's an actual piece of classical music, but to me, it's always the Shining theme. But that's his like sex music is to put the Shining theme on to pump Julia Roberts, and I'm just like, no. And the fact that she's got Madame Butterfly on as she's making like a romantic meal. No. Basically, between Sleeping with the Enemy and Fatal Attraction, if you walk into somebody's house and they're blaring opera, fucking run. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're both opera singers.
Yeah, but they're both into it.
It gives me the fear. Yeah, but Julia Roberts isn't into it and Sleeping with the Enemy.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck about Sleeping with the Enemy. Fuck Sleeping with the Enemy.
I'm standing on business. If you walk into somebody's gaff and they're blaring opera, fucking run.
Nah, I'm not giving you that one. That might need to go to a poll, but I'm not buying that.
Fine, I'll put an Instagram poll out about this. You're on.
Because he does a whole like fucking spiel about that. How that's the one thing where his dad
was nice to him.
Is it fuck off, right?
Also, who's taking their kid to see Madame Butterfly? Do you know what I mean?
Well, the guy loves it. He's obsessed with it.
Fuck up. Right, back
so
to you.
I'm not giving you that one.
Right.
I mean, basically, after this is just. I mean, the red flag's the fucking stalking, appearing at his workplace, appearing at his house, like just invading his personal life.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not a red flag, I mean, that's not a red flag. That's jail time.
Yeah, that's not a red flag. That's like a red sheet, you know. Yeah. That's like
you can't really. I mean, if people are all right with that, then you need help.
Yeah, harassment isn't a red flag. Harassment is just harassment.
Yeah,
you know,
like that's not I wouldn't date him. He's a harasser. Is it? Don't you just don't.
100%. Mine is just like when they meet up and she hits out immediately with the "but I'm in love with you" after it's only been like a weekend. Again, like you said, Michael Douglas must have a dick of gold, but like his face when she's like, "but I love you," and she's so happy to be telling him this, and he's fucking horrified. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. There's quite a desperation in that. I think
100%.
Like she's just trying to say everything and anything that will make him stay.
100%.
Although obviously he's not fucking.
He has no intention.
Yeah, he's had his way. He's quite done with.
100%.
I'll give you that. Like desperation is a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. My next one is boiling rabbits.
Okay, you win. I'm done. Nothing I'm saying is beating that. 100%.
I mean,
like, where do you go from there? Like, could you imagine coming home and it's just like, oh look, like, where do you go from that?
Yeah.
No.
Like, look, and it's not even that. See if she was there, it would be, look what you made me do. And is it, no.
Don't quote Taylor Swift in my face right now.
I'm not quoting Taylor Swift. She didn't come up with that. But that's what I mean, is it, she would be like, you made me do this, or is it?
Did I? Did I hold the fucking stove for you? No, you crazy bitch.
The fuck did that rabbit ever do to you?
Oh, poor man out for Whitey. No, I'm calling it right now, Ross, you win. Because my next one was just that she douses the car in acid. Like,
aye, no, fuck that. The
rabbit wins.
Yeah, that affects his car, like, and him. But thinking a rabbit, knowing that she can do that, is like, That's fucking everybody up.
Yeah, the rabbit's fucking up his Wayne. She's devastated.
Yeah.
It's fucking up his wife because she doesn't feel safe in the house. It's fucking up Michael Douglas because now he has to explain why there's a rabbit boiling on the stove.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no, rabbit wins. Do you know what I mean?
I know that's. I mean, if you want any more red flags, just watch this movie. And if any of this happens to you, is it fucking run?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, please phone the police immediately. Have you got a let's go?
Mine's is when she visits the house, like visits Anne Archer for the first time, because that's when it turns into like, oh, she's just been, no weird, that's the wrong word. I mean, she's just been desperate and quite clingy to, no, she's fucking, like, she's here to fuck you up.
Yeah, she's invading my family time. Yeah, 100%.
What about you?
Mine says, I will not be ignored, Daniel.
Fair enough.
Like, that's the first, like, now obviously that's kind of said halfway through the movie, right? But he kind of palms her off the whole time, just being like, oh, she's a bit mental. But this is where it's like, no, this is a confirmation, Daniel, that things are not going the fucking way you want them to go. Like, you thought dealing with her persistent phone calls were bad enough. Nah, you're dealing with her pregnant. Do you know what I mean? And she won't let you ignore her.
Aye, pregnant.
Aye, quote unquote. Well, that was going to be one of my A's, but fuck it, I'll do it now. Do you think she's pregnant, or do you think this is a manipulation tactic? Because he says though when he phones the doctor that the doctor's like, congratulations, but then is it even a real doctor? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that could easily be. There's no reason why she couldn't be pregnant, because I mean they didn't use protection, I assume. Like, you never see a scene where it's, oh, hold on, let me get like a condom or whatever.
100%. Let me pop my pill. Yeah, 100%.
So it wouldn't surprise me if she was pregnant. But what I want to know is, and I don't think it's explained in it, is what is the timeline?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because that only happens over a weekend, so I'm going to say the rest is like a couple of weeks at best.
I mean,
so she's like a grain of rice pregnant, do you know what I mean?
I'm not an expert though, obviously, but can you, after like a couple of weeks, be like, right, you're pregnant? Is that how it works? I don't know.
I think, like, well, what is it, you need to wait 12 weeks before telling people you're pregnant, but I think like, Say a month in total, right? So say, obviously it's been a couple of weeks. Say it's been a month, right? Say all of this has happened in the course of a month, right? Before she fucking even comes and boils the bunny.
Yeah.
Like, that would still be enough for you to, like, know, do you know what I mean? And then also when he goes into her house, there's, like, cartons of that, like, early pregnancy detector and all that. Do you know what I mean? So, like, you can... There's always adverts on the telly for that clear blue of like, oh, we can tell that you're like 2 minutes pregnant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, like, say you had a one night stand, a week after you go to the doctor, like, or in America, so the gynecologist, like, would they entertain you a week in? I don't know. I generally don't know what the deal is with.
Yeah, I don't know either. Any pregnant people, let us know what the timeline is on that.
Because as I say, but I have no idea. But the timing, if it was spread over the case like 6 months, then fair enough. But if that's not the case, then if she's planned all this out, has Michael Douglas been the choice all along, or is it just going to be whatever person she could get?
See, I think you're going too deep with it. But I'm with you on this train, but I'm going to reverse this train a wee bit, because I get where you're coming from, but this was just like a happenstance. Well, actually, wait a minute.
If this is fake, you need to bring a gynecologist to go along with this.
Yeah.
So you would need to have that planned. Like,
that you were going to get pregnant?
No, but even if it's fake, like, do you get what I mean? Like,
you know.
You need to get a third party involved to, like, by the way, he's going to phone saying, is she pregnant? You need to say aye.
But then it doesn't need to be a gynecologist. But then it's not really apparent that she's got pals. Yeah.
Somebody else obviously knows the fucking bullshit she's up to.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're lying about your pregnancy to him. Why?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's like another witness to if anything ever happened.
So really what we need is a Fatal Attraction prequel to tell us how Glenn Close got to this.
But that's what I mean. Was it just Michael Douglas' character, or was this...
Has it been done before?
Aye.
Like Amy Dunn in Gone Girl? Yeah.
So if you phone the so-called gynecologist, might be right, might be real, I don't know, like within this movie. So he's got to have been like, oh aye. Like,
aye, smashing now.
but if the timeline and that, it's a weird, something you need to really go into.
Yeah. I know there's a Fatal Attraction TV show. See, to be honest, I refuse to watch
who
it.
gives a fuck? That's gotta be shite.
I refuse to watch it because I was like, you're not doing it. But I could be interested in like an Alex Forrest prequel of like, has she done this before? Like, no, in Gone Girl, where like in the middle of it, they figure out like it's more in the book than it is in the movie, but obviously it is in the movie that like she's done this to like people she went to school with, she's done it to ex-boyfriends, she's done da.
Oh, aye,
so she has like Amy Dunn in Gone Girl has like a history of being a sneaky manipulative fuck.
Yeah, aye.
Whereas like I would love to know if Alex Forrest has the same. Do you know what I mean? But then that's also just great script writing and great characters, is that I want to know more. Like, fuck Michael Douglas, I want to know what the fuck's going on with Alex Forrest. There's probably people listening to this like, no, we don't. Like, that's just you. Like,
I mean, I assume this isn't the first person she's kind of became obsessed with. Like, I don't really think this is a thing that just happens.
No.
Like, this is going, because like, she's mentally ill. Like, that's a given. Like, I don't really think you could argue she isn't.
No, absolutely not.
She's a woman that was used, and that, like, fair enough.
Yeah.
But no, she's fucking mentally ill.
Yeah, so there's chemicals missing in the brain somewhere. Yeah.
So she cannot be the first. Michael Douglas cannot be the first person that she's tried this with.
Ooh. See, right, fuck it, we're phoning somebody and we're getting this made, right?
Aye.
Like, right, I'll dive into useless information now. So, the original ending of the film had Glenn Close killing herself in Michael Douglas's house, but making sure that his fingerprints were all over the knife. He would then be arrested and jailed, but he shouts over to Anne Archer and says, go to the attic, because the tape that she sent him is in the attic.
Yeah.
So it would be right, I'm going to jail for this, but she did this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Test audiences absolutely hated it, and they wanted a more quote unquote cathartic ending, which is why we have her being like shot in it's pure drama. Adrian Lyme said in 2015 that he feels the ending is way too over the top and wishes he could have done it differently. But with that, I'm kind of like, the whole fucking movie's over the top. Like, of course the ending has to be like that.
Yeah, you only have two choices. As she either dies or something happens to him.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way you can do this.
I kind of would have liked to see, I think now, see if they were making Fatal Attraction now, I think they would have went with the original ending of that she stitches him up. Like, and the wife finds it. I think they would be, not that it would be okay to do that, but I think it would be, they wouldn't be as like feared that nobody would go and see their film. Do you know what I mean? That like, because there's loads of really good movies now that don't have the kind of tied up happy ending. Michael Douglas is going to go back to his wife and kids. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I understand at the time people were like, no, justice must be served, and it's like, whereas now I could totally see them if they made it now to be like, nah, fuck it, like, fuck you, Michael Douglas.
Then you need to change a lot of things, because a lot of evidence to suggest that she's done this to him.
All you need to do is go through the phone logs. Like, I don't understand why the police didn't go through his phone history. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what the bill situation was like in 1987, but surely there's got to be a phone bill with like from like when like, so in Fight Club, right, when he's making all the calls out in the hotel and they give him it and it's a list of all the numbers that he's phoned, and he finds out that, why is the
they could get the records easy.
Do you know what I mean? So then you would see, why is this number phoned me 120 times in a day?
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so I get what you mean. There's so much evidence that means that she could have been caught, which is then another fuck you to the police of being like, we've got no proof. Go through my fucking phone history, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not that they've not got proof, it's that there's nothing they can use so far to be like, right, you need to, like, you're stalking him.
Yeah.
But I think if it was to do that, she was to kill herself and get the fingerprints, like his fingerprints. But once you see all the evidence, you're like, I mean, you'd probably argue, he could probably get a lot of argue self-defense
100%.
or something. So I don't see him spending time in jail. I'm glad they didn't do it, because it probably wouldn't make sense.
During reshoots of the ending, Glenn Close received multiple concussions, eye and ear infections after hitting her head off of the bathtub. She was then rushed to hospital and found out that she was actually pregnant with her daughter. Glenn Close says that watching the movie now makes her incredibly uncomfortable because she can see how much danger she put her unborn daughter through. But apparently her daughter slags are rotten for it. Like, whenever her daughter watches it, she's like, okay, mum. Like,
maybe it's true. Michael Douglas could be the dad. That's what this movie's all about.
oh no, like, I looked up her daughter, like, she's like Glenn Close copy and pasted. Yeah.
No, fair enough.
Glenn Close also says to this day that men come up to her and thank her for saving their marriage because they were too scared to cheat after watching this movie. Now, cheating should just be a let's not do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be I was going to cheat on my wife, then I watched Fatal Attraction, do you know what I mean? Like, but then also, to my single gals out there, if you start seeing a guy, show him Fatal Attraction first week, do you know what I mean? Set the fucking boundaries now.
See what happens.
Michael Douglas was filming Wall Street at the same time of filming Fatal Attraction and would schedule alternate weeks of filming, but apparently there's outtakes where he would say his Wall Street lines to Glenn Close and Glenn Close was like, wrong film, babe.
No, fair enough.
Glenn Close took the script to 2 different psychiatrists to see if this behaviour was plausible. It was confirmed by both that the behaviour is textbook psychopathy and was given a list of all the possible mental illnesses that Alex may have, as well as any background information as to what could happen in childhood to make this behaviour occur in adulthood. And I looked at it and it's fucking grim, my guy.
Oh, of course it is.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, this would have happened, blah, blah, blah. It's grim. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, but good for Glenn Close. You know, there's a lot of stuff for the actress to work on. So here's your favourite bit of who almost did what. Tony Scott turned down directing this movie to direct Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know if I could imagine a Tony Scott version of this movie. I think this movie's the melodrama that it needs to be. Do you know what I mean?
Adrian Lyne, this is his forte.
Yeah.
Like, this is what he does.
100%. So, the women that were up for Alex Forrest: Sharon Stone, Kirstie Alley, Elizabeth Shue, Faye Dunaway, Angelica Houston, and Sally Fields. Glenn Close had actually been turned down 3 times due to her history of playing Earth Mother, homey, down-to-earth type women. But she was absolutely not taking no for an answer, funnily enough.
Aye.
And she let her hair go like into its natural curly state, wore harsher makeup, and came back for her 4th edition in this like killer dress, and just like walked into the room and like commanded attention. And they were like, nah, fuck it, that's our gal.
You'll do.
100%. I think it would have been cool to see like Angelica Houston, but I think, tell me if I'm wrong, I think Angelica Houston would be a lot taller than Michael Douglas, so I feel like there would be something kind of physically imposing, you know?
Yeah. It has to kind of be equal stature for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as you said, it wouldn't make sense if just fucking arched over him, because I'm like, right, you're not the one in control here.
100%. You're coming up the road to me. Like, okay, Angelica, sorry. I could see possibly Faye Dunaway, because Faye Dunaway's got that look in her eye, but maybe I'm just taking that from Mummy Dearest. No wire hangers ever. Like, obviously for Sharon Stone, didn't work out in this one, but she popped up in Basic Instinct like 3 years later or something like that, 5 years later.
I'm not even sure when Basic Instinct came out.
Something like that. So for the role of Dan Aykroyd, Nicolas Cage, Tom Hanks, Martin Sheen, O.J. Simpson.
Oh, that'd been hilarious.
Mate, could you imagine?
What a fucking movie that would be.
Mate, I swear to God, there's obviously like more people, but I just saw O.J. Simpson. I was like, are you fucking joking? I also kind of forget that O.J. Simpson tried to get into acting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, his football career kind of ended. I mean, at one point he was due for Terminator.
Yes, yeah.
That he done, was it the Naked Gun movies and that, the comedies?
I've never seen the Naked Gun movies.
He was
Am I missing out?
I mean, it's probably not that great now. I've not seen him in years.
No, fair enough.
I don't know. But that was his thing after his football career ended. So I'm like, well, that and murdering his wife. That was his things he was known for.
Well, that's the thing though, is like, I think obviously like nowadays he's obviously more known for the, like, if it doesn't fit, you must have quit
Oh,
kind of thing.
yeah, that's outgrown his career.
His
Yeah,
football
yeah.
career,
Oh,
his
aye.
like acting career, like writing a fucking book that's like, I didn't do it, but
Yeah.
if I did do it, this is how I'd have done it. Like, what?
Yeah, fuck O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, 100%. I think Dan Aykroyd would have been a weird one though, because he's a right goofy looking bastard. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think, seeing the way where Michael Douglas is like, he's a handsome guy. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Dan Aykroyd could give you that.
Saying that, I think with Dan Aykroyd, you could feel sorry for him more.
Yeah.
Like, he might not be this right. No, this is fucking happening. You'll be like, no, this guy's.
Yeah.
You could tell that this guy's probably. You could see that he's made a mistake. It would generally be that he's made a mistake here, not rather than no, he's wanting to do that.
Totally.
He wanted, but obviously he would want to do it, but you would see that he's fucked up more than what Michael Douglas is.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the believable ones that aren't Michael Douglas would be Martin Sheen. I think Martin Sheen would have been really good in this. Also, I think Tom Hanks would have been good in this, because Tom Hanks is obviously America's dad. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody loves Tom Hanks. So I think it would have been weird. I think it would have been cool to see Tom Hanks in that kind of flawed way. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, Tom Hanks probably too young. 87.
Yeah.
So he would have been what? 30? Could you do 30 with wife and kids?
That's true.
And well, I mean, you could do it, but I don't see Hanks doing it.
No, I think if you were to do middle-aged Hanks, but I think that would have been cool to see, because you don't really see Tom Hanks as like quote-unquote a bad guy. Like, he did that movie, what was that, a couple of years ago, that like Man Called Otto, and is that what it was called? The one where he was like the arsehole neighbour?
I have no idea.
We never watched it, but we saw the trailer for it, and he's supposed to be this like grumpy dickhead neighbour. And I think that's one of the few times I've ever seen Tom Hanks as like a not lovable guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it would have been interesting to see Tom Hanks just to see if he could like do it. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it would fit him.
No.
Me personally, I don't see Hanks doing this. Like, on screen, maybe in his personal life, he's shagging everyone. But I don't see him doing it on screen.
Yeah.
I can't envision it.
Yeah, and I also think Nicolas Cage would have been a terrible choice, because I think Michael Douglas needs to play it down so that Alex is as over the top and crazy as you think. Whereas I think Nicolas Cage would try and like meet her in the middle, and it's like, no, you can't have two nutters. Do you know what I mean?
No, it would just turn into a fucking farce, to be honest. If he started doing that, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Like, the Michael Douglas character needs to like keep a semblance of control, rather than Nicolas Cage just fucking shouting and flailing his arms like a fucking idiot.
Absolutely, like, be a bit more level-headed, you know? Like,
you need to, even if you've not got it, like, give the illusion that you know, like, everything's fine.
Yes.
Because, I mean, he's lying to everybody in this,
Absolutely.
so he needs that.
Absolutely. So, obviously, like, we've kind of spoiled a lot of our A's through, like, the thoughts and opinions and just our general rantings. Do you have any A's left?
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking hell, right. I've only got one.
What does her Job think that she's doing when she's going fucking mental like this? Like, she can't be out of work.
Yeah, I also want to know what she does. Like, I know it obviously tells you at the start of the film, and I've totally forgot, but like, she shows up to one of his like meetings, like, no, like where it's like, oh, we need to check that this character's not based on a real person. Like, why would this person release the book? And she's like, oh, because of da da da. Like, so I don't know if she's like an editor or an author or something. Do you know what I mean? But I think that about him is like on the same way. Obviously, where do her work think she is when she's off on this spiral? But then I'm also like, if he's this like lawyer that's needed, because every time he's at his work, they're like, oh, you're due in court at 2. Like, how can he take all this time off work to like make, like, see that whole dirty weekend? He takes at least an extra 2 days off his work. Do you know what I mean? Then obviously with all the moving and stuff and the phone calls permo going, do you know what I mean? Like, what are his work being like? What the fuck? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, for looking it up, I mean, being a lawyer, you could kind of bullshit your way through it, like doing what he does, because, yes, he has to be at courts and that, but, I mean, I imagine with his type of jobs, that, right, you can do it at home.
Yeah.
But she's an editor in a publishing company.
Okay.
So she needs to be
there.
Aye. Well, not even there, but, like, shit will need done. You know what I mean? But she, clearly from the dirty weekend, she's not doing anything but fucking try to ruin Like when Michael Douglas.
She's not been at our work for at least a month, do you know what I mean? What
so-
kind of sick line are you putting in?
Yeah, that's what I guess. What does her work do? Like, what does her work think of any of this?
Yeah, like, why is nobody phoned? But then this also links into, now this is all hypothetical at this point, right? This links into your earlier point of, like, does she have history doing this? Because, like, would there be history on, like, her thing of, like, oh, needs long periods of time off because she's a fucking nutter? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
so that's always bothered me, is that what excuses is she phoning in for?
100%. I've got sickness and diarrhea. As you can hear Michael Douglas in the background, like,
begging for help. So have you got any more?
I only have the one, and it's when he breaks into her house, he's like so careless with like throwing her shit about, right? And they do this in all movies, but it's like, if you're trying to slyly break in to get some form of information, why are you throwing shit everywhere? Why are you wrecking the joint? Why are you making it very fucking obvious that someone has broken into this gaff? Do you know what I mean?
I think he knows she won't phone the police.
That's
like,
fair.
if she phones the police, like, that's getting her noticed.
Yeah, that's
that
fair.
There's something wrong with these two. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair. Because I'm always just like, why are you not a bit more sneaky? Do you know what I mean? But they do that in a lot of films. It's like, as soon as they break into somebody's house, like, books are getting toppled, glasses are getting smashed, and it's like, you could just go to the thing. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't make sense within a movie standpoint, but I imagine it looks better for us to watch. But
100%.
no, I get you. It is a stupid thing to do. But within this movie, I think she's not phoning the police, so he could kind of do what he wants.
100%.
But I've got one more, and this is a bit of would this be a different movie if one of the person who played Axe Frost was like conventionally beautiful, the way like the 80s was? Do you get what I mean?
So, like, if it was Sharon Stone or something like that played her, would it be different?
But my thinking of this is that when Glenn Close does it, she's seen as a psycho and that.
Yes.
But see, like in other movies of not even this type, just any like where it's a woman like doing stuff, and is that if they're like one of like the sex symbols or like beautiful and that, they're more seen as like femme fatales.
Yes.
They're more seen as like this is them. They're smart for doing this rather than look at this fucking nutter. Do you get me?
Well, look, take Sharon Stone for an example. Look at Basic Instinct. Look at even her in Total Recall. Do you know what I mean? Like, where it's like, oh, she's just like a badass woman. She has a femme fatale. Totally get what you mean. I think for all, Glenn Close isn't conventionally attractive. Like, I don't think Glenn Close is a good looking woman, right? But there is something about her, do you know what I mean? And I don't know if it's just confidence or this like appeal, or because I think it's the hair, it's the outfit she's wearing.
Oh no, I get
There's definitely something about her, and I think that's also why he's intrigued, do you know what I mean? Is because she's not this conventionally stunning. I feel like because she does have this air of like, and what, do you know what I mean? Like, but no, I get what you mean. I think if it was someone better looking, you're totally right. I think it would be it would maybe fall under like good for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, see the way like
this would be a woman scorned all the way through it. It wouldn't be, oh, she's mentally ill, I think.
Yeah, this crazy bitch is coming for me. Yeah.
Even like saying good looking, it's more kind of like the standard of the 80s, like really thin, like big chest, like, do you know what I mean? Long, like thingy hair.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if that was a woman like this. Or maybe because they would be more appealing to look at, they're more put together. So I think you need Glenn Close playing this role because you do not get like that psycho in her.
Yes.
Like, she's perfect for this role in the sense of, yes, she's not conventionally beautiful. She's not like the standards of the time. I mean, I'm saying that. I was 93. I don't fucking know. But,
I don't even know what 1987 looked like, mate.
Yeah. So you're kind of like that. But I think without having Glenn Close in it, you're not getting the effect that you want.
I agree. I'm going to hit you with a point here. It's just came off the top of my head. Do you remember that really dreadful Beyonce film? It was Beyonce, Idris Elba, and some blonde women. And the blonde one goes after Idris Elba, but then Beyonce stands on business and like fucks her up kind of thing. It's basically Fatal Attraction, but shite. Do you know what I mean? Again, okay. I've only seen it once. I actually don't know who the blonde woman is. I'll have a look. Someone called Ali Larter.
You don't know who Ali Larter is?
I absolutely do not. Who am I missing?
Final Destination.
my god, I do know who she is.
Some
Yeah,
random
yeah, yeah.
fucking woman. What the fuck?
Oh my god, I've just looked it up there. Yeah. Final Destination 1 and 2. Yeah.
Some random woman.
Oh, and she
Jesus
was in
Christ.
Legally Blonde as well. Oh my god, Ali Larter. I fucking apologise,
Ali
babe.
Larter's been in all sorts.
I apologise, babe. But that's a film where obviously Ali Larter is a beautiful woman. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like that's kind of, and I think it's more sexualized when it's another beautiful
aye.
woman. I think if you had a conventionally attractive woman playing Glenn Close's character, there would be a lot more sex scenes. There would be a lot more. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Whereas there is a necessary amount of sex scenes to show the steaminess of this movie without it being a bit like, right, cool, we get it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is erotic and for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
this isn't an erotic thriller. This is just a thriller.
Yeah. 100%.
But it is weird to me how your view would change based on how she looks. Like that, I don't understand how.
No, totally.
I mean, it's just a thing I think you're kind of conditioned into it. It's like, oh, this person's like so-called beautiful. They wouldn't do this. They don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they still can. Like, they still can and do it. I've had many beautiful women in my life.
Oh, have you?
Aye.
Have you?
That's why I've had to fucking flee many high-powered jobs. Fucking bullshit. You know who you fucking are. I think I've killed you.
I just wasn't expecting you to say that.
You're ruined by many a woman.
You are a twat. I'm moving on to worse guy who's here. Like, just needed. Who have you got?
Oh, it's fucking Michael Douglas.
I've got Michael Douglas too. Like, Michael Douglas, hands down. Like, never mind being a dirty bastard. You introduced the other women to the dog. Do you know what I mean? Fuck you, Michael
That
Douglas.
takes no responsibility. Like,
Well,
fuck
yeah.
him. Fuck Michael Douglas.
Yeah, fuck Michael Douglas. Who's in a different movie?
I don't have one.
Okay, right. I'm gonna hit you because he literally is in a different movie, right? So, know how when he meets Tim, the like boss in the office, he will always be your man for Pet Cemetery.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like he will always be that guy. So like whatever, like I know he is in this film. He's only in this film for 5 minutes, but every time I see him, I'm like, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got an I'm out?
Nah. I'm quite good with this
I'm the
movie.
same.
Yeah.
I'm so in. It's just 2 hours of just like perfection.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Love talking about this movie. Thank you for listening to our Fatal Attraction episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you want more From Hell movies, don't threaten me with a good time. Like, I will do them all. Like, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
I will not be ignored, Ross.
Fucking ruined it.